welcome back to my Spiritual Reviews. This week, we're going to review...
I always introduce you when we're doing my show.
Yeah. And special as a guest, the movie Phantom.
Yay! Who are you?
Maya.
You just go right to the My Spiritual Reviews.
Yeah.
Alright. Fair enough. Alright, go ahead.
We're going to talk about 13 Going on 30 and Hollow Man.
Alright. So which one are we going to talk about first?
13 Going on 30. Okay. About this girl. She's all geeky and nerdy.
Awkward.
Yeah.
This is a typical awkward teen.
And she has a birthday party and she buys all those preppy 6 chicks. Yeah. So her best friend Matt spends 3 weeks on a house. The Jenna Dream house.
It was a little...
Yeah. And wishing dust. So she so the girls, let's play 7 Minutes in Heaven. So she's like, Chris Grandy wanted...
Who's the cool skin
Yeah.
guy?
Likes to go second base. So she goes in the closet, and then the preppy girls leave, and she's like, then the preppy girl says, she's waiting for you in the closet. And then she
who?
Yeah.
You didn't say that though.
Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, she tells Matt that Jenna's waiting for her in the closet. So she goes, she's like, oh, Chris, whatever. And he's like, no, it's Matt. So she gets mad. She's like, go away. And, yeah, and she hits her head. And she's like, I wish I was 30, flirty, and thriving. And the next day she becomes a woman. And
She becomes 30.
she becomes 30. Actually, she becomes 29. Then, like, a year later, she turns 30. Yeah. And she finds a man in her shower, which she's like, I don't know who that is. Yeah.
So that's the premise, basically, right?
Yeah, and then she finds out that her best friend Matt, they're not friends anymore, and he's getting married, and she's like, well, she's in love with him, and that she wants to be married to him. Yeah, that's the whole thing of the movie.
What do you think about it?
I enjoyed it, and I think it's really interesting.
Alright. Anything else you want to add? Favorite scenes, baby?
Let's see.
What you liked about it? Aside the fact that it was interesting and fun.
Let's see. I liked how she parties with the little girls.
Little summer party they had?
Yeah.
Alright, let me take a crack at this. Alright, 30 going on 30. I should say right now that with movies like this, I know I've been slamming a shitload of her movies past few weeks on the show. I do enjoy these little fantasy type movies like this. This is a lot like Big, obviously, and then of course, I'm a fan of the body swap movies like Freaky Friday. I actually enjoyed Freaky Friday. The list goes on and on. I mean, trying to list all those movies. I know that one with Kirk Cameron. That'd be the movie right there. James Cameron and Kirk Cameron switch places. Avatar would have been this big Christian. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. So, anyways, I seen this. I seen clips of this when it came out. It's on HBO one day or something like that. And I was flipping through, and I caught parts of it. And I remember liking what I saw, but then I just kept flipping. I was like, well, let's see what else is on. And I kept coming back to it, and I was like, well, okay, we check some more. So I remember I caught parts of it here and there, and then I caught maybe the last half hour of the movie. And I enjoyed it. I liked it. I liked what I saw and everything. Well, she picks it up. So, and this is really one of those I was actually looking forward to watching. I was like, all right, can't wait to watch this. overall, really good movie. If you're into that kind of, it's a fantasy. I'm not gonna lie, there is kind of a thick layer. Bless you, sweetie. Oh. Allergies acting up big time. Doing okay? Yeah. I lost the track there for a second. No, the acting is pretty good for this kind of movie. I mean, I'm a big Mark Ruffalo fan, anyways. Like I think he's very underrated, which I think now he's starting to get his due. It's important. I like, as much as I like Avengers, I kind of hate this as the fact that like everybody's noticing him because of Avengers. I kind of wish everything he does. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, fucking Shutter Island. I didn't really care for the movie itself. I thought his performance in XXXY was really good. The dude's he's a brilliant actor. And it does kind of seem like he's kind of out of place. I think really, because he kind of talks about the special features, that he's good friends with the director. And I think that's probably the main reason he did this movie. Like, it don't really seem like his kind of movie at all. But anyways, her performance, Jennifer Garner, which I'm not a big Jennifer Garner fan at all, but her performance in here is very believable. I like, it kept my interest going throughout. I think it does have a really good point to this movie. I think there's a very good message in this thing. Especially because I am getting around that age, 30 right now, it makes me wonder, like, would the 13-year-old Phantom like the way I'm doing things, And I think that's something everybody should kind of look at, Everybody should kind of look back and see, like, well, would the 13-year-old version of us approve of what we're doing? Because the thing is, whenever Jenna becomes 30, it's the only thing she knows is, like, she was 13 in the closet, and then she warps to 30. She don't know what she was doing in between that time. And in between that time, she became the biggest bitch ever. I mean, she's literally banging, like, one of her co-workers' husbands. She's selling out. I mean, this is kind of a spoiler. I don't want to get too much into it. But anyway, she's literally, she's a horrible fucking person. She's friends with the bitch that, like, set her up in the beginning of the movie, So it just became one of those, like, I don't know. She became everything that, her 13-year-old self would hate. And she doesn't realize that at first. It's like, as the movie goes on, you realize that, like, really, what kind of a cunt she really is. And I like that. I don't know. I kind of like that whole, like, I kind of like that whole thing. I like the fact that, the 13-year-old version of herself is just kind of shocked and appalled by, what she has become. I also like the fact that, and granted, there is a happy ending. I'm not going to debate that. That's just, you knew there was going to be a happy ending. I mean, come on. It's fluff. But I love the road to it because literally there is like the ending for the adult. Because, obviously she'll get transformed back into a kid. I mean, that's a given. But it's like when she goes to, like, Mark Ruffalo's getting married, and as she goes to, like, yeah, she's definitely trying to break the marriage up. I mean, she don't really go hardcore about it, but, her best case scenario is, yes, Mark Ruffalo will realize that, he's still in love with her and they would go off happily ever after. And it doesn't. Like, it literally is just the big fuck you to romantic movies out there at all, because literally, it's just like he gives this awesome speech about how, like, we drifted apart for so long and we, all the choices we made, we're sticking with it. And I'm just like, holy shit, like, this is so, like, anti, fucking romantic, whatever. But then, at the end, when she gets her dream house, and I don't want to get too much away. Yeah, I don't want to get too much away. Anyways, but, these movies typically have the happy ending. Andy's, I think you pronounce his name Serkis. He's fucking Gollum. And he's in this as her boss, and I really like him. Awesome retro soundtrack, because she was from the 80s in the movie, like 87, and then of course she transports to modern day, which is movie, 2004? I think it's 2004. And, anyways, but a lot of the soundtrack is from the 80s, and I like that. Fucking Rick Springfield, we get Jesse's Girl, like, numerous times in this movie. And then on the special feature, sure enough, there is the video for Jesse's Girl, which is so fucking horrible, but it's just fun to watch. That's another thing. This DVD, the making of, was actually pretty good. Like, the different, they had like a couple of games on here. They had,
He actually played them.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's a game on any DVD, I'll play it. But yeah, they had like a couple of music videos. The Pat Benatar, they had Love is a Battlefield, which was another just ridiculous fucking music. I didn't need to cut it for. I wasn't a big fan of that song, actually. But yeah, I mean, so I recommend this. I mean, guys, if you got a girlfriend who wants to watch it, don't worry. It's not. It's actually pretty good. I mean, it's literally something that you'd be like, all right, I can get into this. It's a cute movie. Has Judy Greer. Well, she's kind of a bitch in this movie, but I'm a Judy Greer fan. Like, I don't let her characters, dissuade my, thoughts on her. Sorry, we waited the last minute today to do the show. We've already eaten supper, and I'm just ready to go lay down and watch TV and fall asleep. But we gotta do the show, so I'm sorry if I'm a little out of it. But yeah, 13 Going on 30, really good. Yeah, I recommend it. I recommend it.
We're gonna do a top 3.
We're gonna do top 3. Wow, breaking it up. Okay, what's top 3?
Top 3 Jennifer Garner movies.
Does she even have 3 good movies?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, go ahead. Sorry. What you got first?
3, Ghost of a Girlfriend's Past. Number 2 is Juno.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
Number 1.
Oh, God, a pin in the eye! Oh! Oh, God, why? Why? Oh, God. And you're beating me on top of it. Oh! Oh, fuck. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What was that, number 1?
13 Going on 30.
13 Going on 30. Yeah, she told me right before we did the show, she don't do top 3 Jennifer Garner movies, and we was going through the IMDb, because that's how much we each know her. Anyways, she does a lot. I'm sorry, I'm just not a Jennifer Garner fan at all. The 3 I got together, unfortunately, my number 1 would have to be, well, no, I'll say my number 1 is probably Catch Me If You Can. And I don't really remember her. I think she was the prostitute that she gives him, there's a whole exchange, where she gives him money because she thinks she's going to take his cashier's check and rip him off. Ooh, bless you, sweetie. And DiCaprio ends up getting her, a fake check anyway. I don't know, so basically, but she, I think that's who she played. I can't remember, though, because I've seen it. I love that movie, but I've only seen it a couple times. Or once. I liked it when I watched it, but I've only seen it a couple times. Also, that's my number 1. I'm sorry, I usually go 3 to 1, but since it's Jennifer Garner, who gives a shit? I'll say 13 Going on 30 would be 2. And the only thing on that list I've even seen, because most of the shit I just didn't, I ain't watching that. I did like The Kingdom, which I'm not a real big war movie guy, but it was kind of, I'm just saying with her, you can usually replace her with just about anybody. And any female actor, I don't really think she's irreplaceable. I'm sorry. I mean, you can throw a Jessica Alba or Jessica Biel in any of those roles, and good performance. I mean, the same. But yeah, I'll go those 3, I guess. Fuck Juno. All right, what else we got, sweetie?
Hollow Man.
Hollow Man.
Yeah. Okay, it's about this group of scientists, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they make all the animals invisible.
Mm-hmm.
They try to bring them back, so they did bring 1 back.
Well, they actually brought more back, it said. They brought 7 or 8 gorillas back. The last one was the last one they did.
Yeah.
So it's been successful before. They just want to make sure they can keep doing it.
Yeah, so Kevin Bacon decided to turn invisible and see if it works on humans.
Mm.
Yeah, that's about the whole movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's he tried on?
What? Himself?
Himself. And what happens to him?
He's invisible?
Then they bring him back?
No.
And what happens?
That
he goes crazy.
He goes crazy.
Goes crazy. And they gotta stop him.
Yep.
Alright. What do you think about this movie, sweetie?
I loved it. I enjoyed it.
What'd you like about it?
The fire.
The fire?
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, Hollow Man. I watched this movie when it first came out. I remember this was one of the first DVDs my family had, actually. Not this one. We had the theatrical version. This actually is the director's cut right here. And I'll get to that in a second. But, no, I remember when we first got a DVD player, that's a big deal, I mean, we got kind of late, I guess, too. It's probably, when the hell did this come out? It had to be, didn't say. Oh, 2000. So we probably got ours about 2000, 2001, I guess. Which I think it was days out since. It don't matter. I'm sorry. Anyways, but this is one of the first ones we had, and watched it, and I really liked it. I thought it was just awesome. And I realized this is one of the few movies where I'm actually rooting for the villain. And I know, like, you hear a lot of people go, like, oh, all the kids go to Cramp Crystal Lake. I say, fuck him, let Jesse kill him. Typically, no matter what, no matter how stupid the kids get, I'm still rooting for him, Like, as much as, like, I love Michael Myers, I think Michael Myers is a great character, I still want to see Jamie Lee Curtis, make it out alive, I mean, that's just, I'm not the guy who roots for the bad guys, typically. I mean, unless we're talking about, crime movies, mobsters and gangsters and shit. But in horror movies, I typically vote for, the good guys. There are exceptions, though, and this is one of them. And, because I'm just like, I don't know, like, and this is bad, but like, this is 2001 I'm watching this, so I'm still in high school. Like, I don't know, a sophomore, maybe? Probably a sophomore when I watch this. And I'm thinking to myself, like, yeah, I would go on this horrible fucking insane spree. I really would. Here's the thing about it right here is, they do this thing. In the original, okay, maybe because I was just young and I was just a little naive or whatever, I did not realize that he sexually assaulted and raped that woman. Because in the theatrical version, they only show him, like, go after her, and that was it. And I don't remember much of it to be like, it's rape. Anyways, I mean, I actually talked to a lot of my friends who, seen it, and they're like, yeah, it was implied. And I was like, I did not know that. However, in the director's cut, no, it's not just implied. It's fucking shown. I mean, literally, she's on the bed, and he's attacking her, and then, of course, the next scene is her crying as he's walking all the way. You're like, holy shit, Kevin Bacon. And it happened so early in the film that you're just like, oh my god, like, this guy, he didn't gradually go insane. This dude just went on a fucking rape spree before the madness set in. Holy shit. And yeah, but that's the thing is, I think it's kind of funny about that is, the question is, and it's like, I'm sure it's probably, is it not the tagline? It's not the tagline. I think it's one of the taglines. It's like, what would you do if you was invisible? And I remember when I was like that age, that movie first came out, everybody was like, the typical answer you get from a high school kid is like, I'd go into the ladies' locker room. What are you going to do in the ladies' locker room? Invisibly beat off in the corner? No. There's going to be some fondling involved, alright? I'm just saying, and I'm not trying to be like, everybody would do that, but I'm saying a vast majority, they would. I believe that if most people could turn invisible, they'd go villainous real quick. And me, myself included, I'm not gonna lie, like, I would definitely go villain big time, quickly. Wouldn't even be a descent into madness. I just feel like, I'm invisible, I'm gonna be robbing and just groping people. No, sweetie, just groping you. Anyways, but no, I mean, so, as I'm watching it, I'm on his side, I was like, I hope he gets out. I really do. And of course, they're like, well, you can't have this, fuck that. And like, if you just let him go, he's not going to fuck with you. You're his boys. Let him go. He kind of likes the whole crew. That's just my cynical attitude too, but I'm just like...
There's a little boob action.
There is a little boob action. There is some...
You guys.
For the guys out there,
yeah.
Not for me, I didn't like it. I closed my eyes during that scene. But overall, I mean, it does kind of bring up that question. I think most people don't want to admit to themselves that they would actually go that far with some, but I think most people would. I really do. Another thing I really liked about this was the special effects, which that's what I was really shocked because it was a box office success, but apparently a critical bomb. Like the critics fucking hated it, and like the only thing they would say good about it was like, well, special effects were good. Everything else was horrible. I thought it was good all around. Like, I actually really enjoyed this movie. But I will say special effects are incredible. And still hold up now. I mean, there are a couple scenes maybe you're like, well, it's like, really? I think they look awesome. I like the Kevin Bacon. I think it looks very realistic when it shows him, like, when he's underwater or in a puff of smoke or whatever the case may be. I think it looks really good and believable. So, and I love the sequences when they're like injecting either him or the gorilla with the serum or whatever. You see it kind of coursing through the veins and it's trying to bring it back. I think it looks really neat. I really do. Once again, whenever I watched this, I did not know who Josh Brolin was. I didn't even know he was in this movie until I just watched it just now. We popped it in. We watched this like a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Friday, so we pop it in, we watch it, and I'm just like, holy shit, Josh Brolin's in this. I didn't know. Like, oh my god, it's awesome. So I'm a Josh Brolin fan too. So I was, I guess in this way now I'm kind of hoping like maybe he can get out, like he can survive, and then Kevin Bacon can survive too. Has Elizabeth Shue in it, which it's Elizabeth Shue. I'm not like anti Elizabeth Shue, but I like some of it. I like The Adventures in Babysitting. I'm a fan of Adventures of Babysitting. That's a good movie. And that other movie she did, the Adventures of Babysitting. I'm joking. She's also in Piranha 3D, and that's fucking awesome. Beyond that, she's in Karate Kid too. Yeah, she had her hits. She's just not a draw for me. But no, it was, freaking awesome. Damn good movie. I really enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. It has a straight-to-video sequel that we actually picked up. We're going to try to watch it sometime this week, so I don't know if we'll do a review next week or not. But
What?
Hollow Man 2. Has Christian Slater in it, which I'm a Christian Slater fan, but he does some shitty work. So I'm a little nervous about that. And then the fact that, like, literally it's like, you got Christian Slater, it's straight-to-video, and I bet they didn't take care of the effects are really good and thought out here. I'm sure it's going to be like Sci-Fi Channel effects on this next one, but we haven't seen it yet, so we can't really say anything about it. But yeah, Hollow Man, I was all about it, and it was like it's a classic tale. I mean, they did it is kind of like an updated version of The Invisible Man. I mean, I wouldn't really say it's a remake, but I mean, it kind of is in a way. And I don't know, it's a good story. I really liked it. What would you do if you was invisible?
I would. Singing. I would scare people.
Would you just scare people?
Yeah.
Wouldn't grope?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't with that. Like if I'm walking in here getting like a bowl of cereal, I'll feel like a hand on my butt.
Yeah.
Give my tushy a little pinch.
Yeah.
Alright. Thank you, sweetie. There's one thing I thought was kind of funny though. I think this is the one thing people don't take into account when you're thinking of invisibility. Which I think this one handled very well because I think because in most movies when they do the invisible thing, it's just like there's no one there. It's a voice you hear from above, and And this one, Kevin Bacon was on set the entire time. He wore like green suits and blue suits, black suits. I mean, he literally had the entire.
Yeah, and they had dyed his hair.
Yeah, I mean, he was there. I mean, he was fucking there, and you need that. I really do. I think you need that. I think the one thing people don't take into account though is people get dirty. It just happens, like just natural dirt, and you never see like the specks of dirt floating through the air. I think that's one thing that I think if this was going to be grounded in reality, if you look at tomorrow Invisible, at first you'd be like, well, whatever your reaction would be, but eventually if you're trying to like pull one over on people, I'm not saying you wouldn't get away with it because I mean, it ain't like a lot of dirt's on a shelf or anything. You can easily wash yourself off, but I'm just saying you never think about the dirt. You don't see dirt on people. I don't know. That's something that kind of bugged me, I guess. But I think one of my favorite scenes in this movie too, aside from the nipple scene and I guess the new rape scene, I like the scene where he's in the car and another car pulls up next to him and it's like the mom and dad and the two little kids in the back seat and because he looks weird with the fucking mask on anyway. Like he has this fucking it's like a flesh colored mask, but what happened when they're looking at him? He like takes his glasses off and of course you just see like fucking hollow fucking he's the Hollow Man. And anyways, they're like, Mom! And then like he opens his mouth and there's like nothing there too and they freak out. And I'm like, dude, I do shit like that all the time. Like I would literally just be freaking people out like that. I think that'd be awesome. What are they gonna do? Like they chase you down? I guess I get a flamethrower and that's what Elizabeth Shue did. I would love to see Hollow Man 2 as like Kevin Bacon just literally bumming around invisible. What an interesting one actually would have been. Because he rapes that woman, right?
Yeah.
I'm guessing Kevin Bacon didn't pull out. He didn't pull out and bust invisible jizz everywhere. I bet he busted in that side. I would love to see her part 2. Like, okay, it's like Kevin Bacon. Like this movie ends the way it does. It's over. We're done. Part 2 would have been like her invisible baby. Like she's pregnant, right? Now she doesn't believe in the abortion thing, so she's like, I'm gonna have this baby. And the whole time they're all just under like, we could hear a heartbeat in her. There's movement. We don't see nothing. And then when it comes time to give birth. There's like, it's an invisible baby. I would love to see that movie. That would have been a damn good movie. And maybe Kevin Bacon ain't dead. And he decided he wants to come back for his kid. I just feel like there'd be a lot of like, stepping on the baby type things. Like, where'd that baby go? I don't know. Stepping on the back, so I don't know. Just me, I guess. All right, but yeah, Hollow Man. I'd say check out both these movies. 13 Going on 30. Check it out. Hollow Man. Definitely check it out.
And I want to know what your top 3 Jennifer Garner movies are.
You want to know what their top 3 Jennifer Garner movies are?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, you should ask him is what would they do if they was invisible? There's a question for you. Oh, you baby. I'm going villain. I'm robbing banks. I'm not gonna lie. Murder will eventually get in there. I would like to pretend it wouldn't, but it would. I'm not saying intentionally. For I think it'd be one of those things where I'm trapped in a corner. Like you're like, someone just touched my ass, and a bunch of rednecks come after me, and I'm like, I'm in the corner. Sorry, I got to kill my way out. That's all there is to it. So they can't see me. So, all right. Anything else, Woody? No. So.
Till next time.
Till next time, we're out of here. I'm gonna go lay down. Call it evening.